They're going to side with Av3k on this one, 63%. But enough talk. Let's get into it. Map number 1, Veil between Av3k and dramiS. We are live right now, week 8 of Quake Pro League, and we're starting off with Av3k.
Av3k immediately setting up a bit of a trap at the Rockets, waiting with the LG out, hoping that dramiS would just stumble around the corner and into him, but just look at that damage, the pineapples, the nades, they are hurting, and dramiS, absolutely no respect given, drops down with the railgun in hand and nails the shot.
And that's the crazy we were talking about. The fearlessness, the ability to say, I don't care what happens to me or my body, I'm going in. And it pays off for that one, but will it last? Rails exchange from both players as the heavy is taken by dramiS. We could trap him right here. There's another rail, but Av3k doing a good job of making sure he's trading these rails and nothing is free.
Av3k now definitely on the back foot. Manages to get at least one health bubble. Puts him above railable threshold. But he is outgunned. All he's got to work with is a railgun. No LG, no rockets. Should be able to get at least one of them now. As dramiS is taking position on the heavy, and that was Polish Prince's opening, but now he's caught between a rock and a hard place. Yeah, that one opening grenade just told dramiS everything he needed to know. And now we basically get a reset. Av3k in the exact same position. Heavy machine gun and rail. Down below, near the asset pits.
Missed rail there's dramiS able to evade. Almost gets clipped with that one. But for the most part, dramiS, dare I say, looking a little comfortable for now, Flea.
He sure is. Nice little delay between the items as well, 10 seconds. Now, of course, Av3k does have the orb, and that is going to be the biggest thorn in dramiS' side when it comes to establishing full control and cycling the items, because he knows, right, that even if dramiS takes one, Av3k can be so quick with the orb to just set up on the other, get on it, get off, and that's all that he will need to do. Look, out comes the orb. Slightly mistimed it. I don't know if he was ever really planning on going all in for that. But
I feel like it was a contingency plan, where it's like, if things go perfectly, maybe I could swipe it. Yeah. If not, at least I can get out of there. And that's good enough for now, because what Av3k is doing is he's stopping the bleeding. He's not letting the score get out of control. He does need to try and fight for some of these items, as dramiS is running the map right now, but the trade of rail will help. Slightly missed opportunity there, and there's the dire orb again for a little bit of misdirection through the telly. And look at that play to steal the heavy. Beautiful from Av3k.
You earlier said that dramiS was feeling comfortable. I think he's feeling confident. He's feeling cocky. He peaked with 8 points of health against Av3k, who had just picked up the heavy.
Just hitting him with the classic Flea. That's all he's doing right now.
Absolutely. I wonder how long that will continue to pay off, though. Because one heavy machine gun bullet to the face would have ended dramiS' first life. Nice rail. Sends his opponent down. Oh, rocket to the face as well. Beautiful. And he is on time for the mega. But out comes that orb that is so dangerous. He has to give up positioning, and somehow 2 points of health, and Av3k can't quite seal the deal. Loses out on mega as well. But there's still 12 seconds before heavy, and Av3k now has a bit of a stack advantage. All he needs is a weapon, and he can contest this.
Contest it. This is underway right now. As the rocket damage is actually huge from down below, using that pillar really well. But he gets knocked down. He's going to miss out on the heavy, I think. Who's going to drop first? It's a game of chicken, Flea. Oh, Av3k!
Oh, he gets it. That's a solid silver lining for the poll.
And I wonder if dramiS realized, because the way he pushed into that was as if he had a bunch of armor, and he got melted with that LG.
I do think he realized. I just don't think that dramiS was expecting Av3k to still be there. I think that he was expecting Av3k to just go down towards LG, but nope. He was just holding his ground. Good rails as well, and a third one. A combo kill indeed, and now the rush for mega. Av3k, he's not going to contest for this, unless he hits a nice little string of rail damage here. But even then, I like how dramiS is playing this. Very controlled. Even going for the health bubbles first, knowing he's got the time to just offset the items a bit more. Still pick it up, make the absolute most out of it. This has been a rather repetitive...
Oh my god! It's controlled chaos, Flea. It's dramiS is playing positionally, but he's in the fights playing like an absolute psychopath, and he's hitting everything. And that's what I was talking about, where you question when his luck, so to speak, is going to run out, and he gets taken down there, but he's still up by 4, and his rails are just insane.
I'm just getting deja vus all over again. Like, what's that, the third, fourth time that we've seen dramiS hold the heavy, Av3k on top, Av3k dropping down, and the rail getting him? We've seen that 3 times that Av3k got the frag like that. But no more. Or dramiS got the frag, I mean. But no more. We've shuffled the deck. And now Av3k is the one who's in the best position. He's going to secure the Mega. He's 3 frags down, but still plenty of time to work. And here we go, once again. Once again. The exact same fight. Oh, that's a lot of LG damage.
What?
And the rail.
Oh my god! How do you overcome that? I just don't understand. dramiS is hitting 75% rail. At one point, he was hitting 83%. And Av3k is doing the right thing. He's taking high ground. He's dropping when it's safe. He's putting out massive amounts of damage. But at the end, dramiS is like, flick rail, done.
It's crazy to think that dramiS is hitting higher accuracy with every single main weapon. And he's the one with the bigger hitbox.
Ooh, but right? Really nice play from Av3k there.
Definitely an overextension by dramiS as well. Just running out into the open as he was still switching weapons. That's...
You're crazy. dramiS, you're crazy.
Yeah.
He's playing Instagib on Veil.
76% rail. I love how literally more than half of all damage dealt by dramiS has been with just a railgun. How do you break that in your Av3k? Good damage.
Good Dire Orb to get out.
Yeah.
Ooh, missing with that rail. Big Rocket almost gets the combination. Almost timed that perfectly. And now is dramiS actually going to concede? It looks like he has, Flea. We did it. He's conceded an item, and he's not going to try and rail his way out of there. But he's still up by 4, and this has to be a comeback on Av3k's part. dramiS is more than comfortable playing like this, and good cap from Av3k there. Catches him out of the armor shard. Nice trap.
Yeah. He didn't even get the armor right there. Oh, dramiS, no. This is what I have been worrying about for the past 3 minutes or so, 40. That dramiS, yes, he's hitting a lot, but this aggression sometimes is just unwarranted. He's putting himself right in harm's way over and over again, and this is Av3k you're talking about. We've got to give this man the respect that he deserves. And the moment that dramiS isn't just hitting ridiculous amounts of damage in every engagement, he's going to pay for it. Like, once again, he's just pushing on through with railgun out into the room. This is... You started off by saying, this is confident. Then I said, or you said, this is comfortable. I said, this is confident. Now it's transgressed into cocky, and it's not working out for him.
Yeah, this is not good. He might be able to get this refrag here as Av3k trying to escape. Doesn't have Dire Orb. A little bit of machine gun on the way out. It looks like Av3k will survive. This should open the map up back in dramiS's favor. But as we mentioned before, dramiS, he starts missing some shots. Everything goes wrong. Big Rocket.
Yep. He has to push this, and he should get the frag as well. LG kind of failing him a bit towards the end. Av3k should not have been able to get...
Oh,
no! Again, caught out with the wrong weapon, though. Like, you can look at it and say, oh man, he got telefragged, but I'm looking at it and I'm going, well, he shouldn't have been there with the rail in his hand. That was too late. Av3k already had way too much time to close the grab, and now where he...
Oh my god.
dramiS doesn't have LG. He can't take a mid-damage fight. He needs to trust once again on the rail and on the pineapples. This is madness for you.
A man after my own heart. Av3k able to plant him with 25 seconds left as dramiS able to dig deep and pull out some magic to send us into sudden death.
10 seconds to go. Nice little rebuttal on the rocket jump right there with the LG. He needs to push this. Out he goes. He can just sit on there. And indeed... Oh, nice rail at the end, but Av3k simply had too much stack for dramiS to still get the frag right there. Oh, 40. I don't know how I feel about that one. I feel that's a little tragic. This did not have to go down that way. dramiS simply gave Av3k the opportunity. He handed it to him on a silver platter with undue bouts of aggression, putting himself in harm's way, taking fights at close combat with nothing but the railgun in his hands. And then, yeah, you know, when you're 5-6 frags ahead, okay, you can do that once, you can do that twice, but you can't just keep doing it. And ultimately, that is what gave Av3k such a clear avenue back in the lead.
I mean, I absolutely love it, but you can't win like that in the Quake Pro League. You can't do that. You can't rely on rails and pineapple no matter how good it feels. And if you do, and you're fortunate enough to get that 4 or 5 frag lead, then you have to switch and adapt and play a little more defensive and make your opponent come after you. And it looks like, as you said, dramiS plus forward, rail pineapples all day. It was working for him for so long, and then eventually you start missing, and then everything goes wrong and out the window, and that's exactly what happened. Av3k able to claw his way back. 10-9. It's a testament to how tried and true Av3k is as a professional, keeping his head in the game, knowing, hey, he's going to miss. This play style is not sustainable, and he's able to come out on top. And just really well played from Av3k to hang in there and take that one back.
And that definitely was the map that I was favoring dramiS to win. That was the one that I had him pinned to, you know, he's gonna get that one to start things off with. But now, this is looking shaky for the American. He's an unsure footing right now. I think he has to drastically reconsider the battle plan too. Because if he tries the same thing, Av3k is ready for him right now. Av3k knows how to deal with it, and it is not going to work out the same way, especially when you're playing Strog, right? We have seen in map 1 or series 1 with Nosfa how dangerous it can be when you're using Strog, or rather the Peeker, too aggressively, right? It opens yourself up to so much damage. If dramiS does that this map as well, he's not gonna have a good time.
We'll see if there's going to be a little bit of adaptation, or if dramiS is going to be like, you know what, if I would have hit more rails, I would have won. And I hope for his sake it's not that way. I hope that's not the strategy going into it, but it has paid off before, and that's almost a problem, right? You play a certain style and it works, you're like, yeah, this is fine. I feel fine, and then you run into a brick wall that is Av3k, where he's like, I know you're going to miss eventually, and I'm going to capitalize. That's what we saw on map number 1. I mean, a huge lead for dramiS. I think chat was blown away, and then Av3k just keeps coming back because dramiS keeps feeding these kills, trying to go for the shots that he thinks he'll land, and he doesn't. And it's just a detriment. And you hope, if you're a dramiS fan, that he kind of polishes that up. I mean, still rely on the rail. It's a fantastic weapon. He uses it well, but he needs to know when to back off and not play those shotgun rail angles.
Here we go, map 2. Let's see how dramiS approaches this one. We're starting off on his point of view. He's got the Strog, very nimble, not quite as fast or as mobile as Anarchy is with that air control, but still very solid pick for a map like Ruins. And he's immediately got his hands on the railgun. He knows that Av3k doesn't have it yet. The Polish Prince, representing Team Endpoint, cannot really take these long-distance fights. Good use of the Peeker as well. He knew that Av3k didn't have anything to take it down instantly, and so he just went for it.
Still denying the rail. I like it from dramiS here.
Yeah.
He has a game plan.
Oh! Yep. That, he was completely caught off guard right there. Came out of the teleporter looking straight left.
Oh.
Av3k was waiting on the right-hand side. And now Av3k does get his hands on the railgun. He's fired 2 shots, hit both of them. And now it's dramiS who needs to get a rail.
He is able to grab one after a little bit of rocket damage. Grabbing an armor shard as well, but Av3k in the lead by 2, has a Mega to work with. There's the Peeker around the corner as Av3k trying to do damage, trying to bend that rocket like Beckham. Can't quite get the damage he wanted. dramiS will drop down. Avoids the vials, wants to position for heavy a little bit in advance here. Needs this one to try and get that stack going. Needs to be careful, though.
Good positioning. Oh, but no, that rocket. Just 30 points of damage. Switch to LG. Oh, dramiS. I don't know if he expected Av3k to have much more health than he did, but the slightest tickle of LG or even machine gun would have ended it right there, and he still goes for the rail. I think that was his opportunity. If he had killed him with LG, he had a clear route to get Mega. Small armor as well. Set up for heavy. I mean, he still managed to do all those things, but Av3k is still alive. Av3k still has all the weapons. He's still got a fully decked arsenal.
Yeah, and I mean, it's the drama style of play, right? Where he's up close and he switches to rail instead of shotgun or LG or any of that, and you know, it's gonna come back to haunt you as it did in map number 1. But dramiS firmly believing in his playstyle and his ability to just land the shots he needs. Av3k just squeaking on by, saying, "Excuse me." And there's the drive-by rail from dramiS.
Good.
Can he close out the frag, though, Flea? That is the question.
Nah, he knows he won't be able to. He hears the bounce pad on top and the rockets, knows that he's in no position to chase Av3k in that situation. Now Mega is up. Oh no, Av3k!
He did it! He switched to rail up close! And it works! Off the spawn, he does get a rail. He wants one more. Is Av3k going to drop down? He is. He's caught in the courtyard. There's the peeker for a little bit of extra damage. He should be able to push in with LG and get this frag, and he does. So no swap to rail on that one, Flea. He's able to swap. Okay. Off the spawn, can he get this one too? And he does!
Oh my.
Okay.
That was a lot of machine gun damage from Av3k, though. That was nuts. Ultimately, it was a little bit of a fumble by Av3k. I generally liked his positioning near Mega, right? He knew that Mega was up behind him, but he didn't just want to pick it up. He wanted to take the fight first, incur some damage, and then drop right back onto it to stack right back up. But one bad rocket just bounced him off course, and so he couldn't pick up Mega, and dramiS capitalized off that perfectly. And now he is securely in the lead, 2 points ahead. And he still goes for the rail.
Oh my god! Oh my god, what a combo!
He can't shake it, 40. He just... The urge, it's too strong. He's compelled to whip out the rail whenever he's closer to his opponent than, say, 5 or 10 meters. He has to go for it.
I would like a formal inquiry into the contract and stipulations for dramiS, because I feel like he's getting paid per rail. Av3k able to push in there and grab the LG and make it count. There's the mad dash for the heavy, and dramiS will actually come out on top, both in damage and item. And yeah, I mean, he's got the urge for rail. If it's working, why not? There's the peeker around the corner. I don't think he got any damage off that. Somehow able to take it out right in the nick of time is Av3k.
Looking for a rail angle. Yeah, both players will get one, but that is going to favor Av3k. He's got the injection, he's got the Mega. Especially if he can take a fight on heavy now too. Out comes the rails, 1, twice, but won't be enough. Yeah. I mean, you love the plays when they work out, right? The beautiful combos, the switches to the rail, the marvelous flicks. But when it doesn't, 40, you are left wondering, you know, what would have been like if he had just switched to rockets, to LG, just cleaned it up like that.
Ooh, dodging that rocket, and there's the peeker play, a little bit of damage. And yeah, again, it looks great when it works, and when it doesn't, you just sit there like, why don't you just use shotgun? But despite all of that, still up by 1, hitting decent percentages of rails, and still has some item control across the map, so it's not dire, but Av3k looking to try and tie this up here shortly, maybe within the next cycle of items even.
Solid shot. Keep in mind, Anarchy does have that lower base stack, so those 90 damage rails, they hurt all that much more. Oh, Av3k. Nice combo. Av3k was like scoping out the room, you know, was feeling the situation. Can I make a move? Figured he could go for it. dramiS comes blazing through the doorway. He tries to drop down still, make a reverse, hightail it out of there, but nope. dramiS had him dead for rights, and that rail shot, beautiful.
dramiS, you could tell. What a flick!
This should be a frag for the American. Oh. Good thing for Av3k that the small armor was up there.
Wow.
That's one of the reasons why it's so difficult to play light champions on Ruins. Yes, they work well because it's a map where you can make good use of that mobility, but on the other hand, the small armors that you are so dependent on when you're playing a light champion, they are difficult to get. Both of them are way out in the open on a little square of their own, and going for them opens yourself up to a lot of easy railgun damage. dramiS is making really good use of that. Nice bit of damage. Doesn't get the final kamikaze, but doesn't really need to either. Still has the upper hand. Not anymore. Not anymore.
How? How? It's insane to watch, Flea. dramiS gets another one. He's up by 4, and the time is ticking. Av3k is in a position where he needs to start putting more pressure on and trying to get these frags back, because dramiS is mobile enough to just run away if he wants. Good rails from Av3k now.
Yeah, very good. No way dramiS is gonna get out of here alive. We gotta be careful, or rather dramiS has got to be careful that we don't see a repeat of the previous map 40, because it could very well happen. He could very well overextend, take these fights he shouldn't. I love that play by dramiS, by the way, dropping down on his own body because he knew that Av3k hadn't picked up the railgun yet. And I don't know if Av3k was expecting him to have rail already.
Oh no, he's gonna get
That's what I'm talking
hit.
about.
4 HP, somehow hits a rail. Can he hit another one? Oh, and it's happening, Flea.
That's what I was
a nightmare
talking
spiral.
It is what I was talking about, 40. He could have left. He could have left. He didn't need to stay and take a fight from what was objectively an abysmal position, a bad angle. Switches to rail again. Doesn't connect. Good thing he had the peeker. Peeker saved him right there. And now with a minute left to go, the objective for dramiS is simple. Survive. That's all he needs to do.
A rail and a dream, and 50 seconds for dramiS to try and take this map and send us into a third as the decider. Can he do it? He's got the mobility as well. He's also got a rail in the butt. There's a great damage rocket and the peeker. That's huge into the LG, and Av3k needs to hit some miracle damage here. And he does as the rails come out and they miss in 30 seconds for a frag.
He could have just stayed underneath. 2 health bubbles there to work with. Bait your opponent, force them into dropping down, take the fight with the rockets at close range or LG to at least hurt them as much. Didn't have to jump out in the open and go for the big rails. But it looks like it should all still work out in the end. dramiS has got the stack to survive. He's got the speed to outmaneuver Av3k in those final few seconds. But why? Why does he keep cutting it so close, 40?
I don't know, but I think he loves it. Chat and I think us on the desk having a heart attack here. But in the end, dramiS able to run away with it and say, keep my rail's name out of your mouth. And he takes map number 2, ties the set at 1 apiece. But again, we saw moments where it was just like it's happening again. Be it overconfident, be it whatever. He's just giving up frags that he doesn't need to give up. You can just leave. You don't have to do this.
Map 3, it's gonna be it's the big unknown, right? I generally, looking at the picks, I favored dramiS. No wait, because dramiS was playing the Visor, I believe. So I was favoring Av3k. Yes, indeed, I was favoring Av3k to take home the last map because of the mobility advantage as the Athena. I don't know. This is a big unknown. Because for the final map, right, dramiS is kind of lacking that innate ability to go hyper aggressive, right? Map 1, he was playing Keel, so he had higher base stack to work with and he had the grenades. That allowed him to really apply pressure, really take those fights. Map 2, he's playing Strog and Peeker. Okay, so he's got the mobility, he's got the vials he can pick up whenever he's got the kill. He has the Peeker to work with, right? So again, solid tools to allow him to take those really aggressive fights. But now map 3, he's playing Visor, right? He doesn't have anything in terms of pure punching power. He doesn't have anything to work with in terms of speed. So I'm curious to see how that will factor into his decision-making. If we're still gonna see the absolute balls-to-the-wall aggressive pushes with the railgun in hand, or are we going to see him play it a little bit more cautiously? What do you think, 40?
I think we're just too far gone for him to swap now. I mean, we're looking at the match results from map number 1 and 2. This could have been a 2-0 for dramiS. He plays Veil a little bit differently. We could have been in a world where it's 2-0 going into the third for a potential 3-0. But because of that playstyle that he's not willing to give up, we're at a 1-1 situation. So, I mean, you could argue it both ways. That playstyle got him the victory. That playstyle lost him map number 1. I don't know, but I think he's committed. He's dug in. He's going to go with the classic on map number 3 as well. I think the only deciding factor that could come into play, as you mentioned, Visor doesn't really have any great abilities or mobility tactics. Does have vision, but more so than that, the stack. I mean, one rail on Athena is infinitely more crippling than one rail on Visor. So depending on how he controls items, maybe the playstyle will work? I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be interesting to find out, but I know chat loves it. I know my heart can't take it. I feel like you're kind of the same because it's just interesting and it's just mind-blowing to watch dramiS commit to this play and then make it work.
Looking at the predictions right now, chat is heavily in favor of Av3k, and I'm inclined to agree. Looking at the performance so far, as well as, of course, what we just discussed, the champion picks for this final map, I think that the Athena, yes, of course, she's much weaker to that railgun damage, but on the other hand, she is so mobile. She really is an S-tier pick on Blood Covenant in the right hands. So let us see how dramiS will counter that. Starting off on Av3k's point of view, dramiS immediately using the piercing sight ability. Neither player has railgun yet. dramiS will rocket jump to get a hold of it, but doesn't seem that interested in trying to deny it. He instead just makes the swap, and I think he's kind of going to allow Av3k to get away with picking up rail while he makes a move for the LG.
Oh, big defensive rocket there from Av3k. I think he heard the vision pop too, but in the end, dramiS still hits a rail and it ties it up even after the big rocket damage from Av3k.
Yep. Good positioning from Av3k right there. I love how he left the green armor up for a little while, expecting to maybe take a bit of damage in return, so that he still had that extra armor boost to fall back on if it were to come down to it. Oof, that is a costly moment to drop down and look away for Av3k. He had solid position to try and at least deny entrance to the heavy room somewhat, and then he looked away at the worst possible time, takes a rail in the back, and now dramiS is looking really good in terms of item control. And that's gotta hurt, 40. That's the third rail that Av3k has kind of missed like that, where his opponent was just kind of coming at him. And those are mistakes that you can't afford to make at this level.
Av3k, big rocket. This should be a frag too, and it is, but on the way out, does hit one final rail. So potentially softening Av3k up, but he's going to go up the jump pad. A little bit of damage. Ooh, needs to be careful of the float.
Yeah. But Av3k's got to be careful of his own as well. 45 points of health. One bad burst of tribal damage, and that'll all dissipate in an instant. There we go. Av3k starting to hit some of these rails. It's exactly what he needs to do. Oh. Wrong weapon out. I understand why he had the LG in case Av3k, or dramiS rather, was still sticking around.
Wow. Big pickup there on that Mega. Av3k needs to make a mad dash for the heavy, and he will, as it looks like dramiS trying to make his way to the rail. Oh, baby! Av3k read that perfectly and served that up hot and fresh for dramiS. What a shot.
He knew dramiS still didn't have the rail. And he timed it to perfection. Absolutely nasty. Not that much time between the items. Around 8 seconds. And that heavily, heavily favors Av3k. Because there's no way that dramiS can string them together with the same consistency, at the same breakneck speed that Av3k can do playing Athena. Oh, but Av3k kind of caught in a bad spot right there. Rocket bouncing him against the wall, doesn't really have a clear way out. Took a lot of damage from the heavy machine gun. This might be a frag for dramiS, indeed it is. And he gets to pick up Mega for his trouble.
But look at Av3k going straight for the rail now. Almost role reversal here as dramiS using other weapons and realizing they can do damage as well. Big rails from Av3k as he picks up the heavy. But dramiS has his favorite in hand now. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Can he find the shot? He does. One more might do it. And it plants him right in the kneecap, Flea. Tied at 2 after all of that.
dramiS probably figured that damage with the other weapon was some kind of strange glitch, because he's right back on just a rail. He's like, what was that? How did I get damage? I didn't even have rail out. Disregard. Back to the fundamentals. Railgun. That's his bread and butter. And so far on this map, it's worked out quite nicely. Even though, 40, I think we can both agree, he doesn't have the most favorable champion pick when it comes to this matchup. dramiS is still keeping it a tight game.
Yeah, I mean, unorthodox playstyle, maybe we can call it. It's working out for now. Tied at 2. He's reading well. He's using this vision to close the gap and hit a beautiful rail. Just missing out on that damage.
Yeah.
The read was there, but unfortunately off the mark. As we are officially 5 minutes in, 5 minutes left to figure out which one of these players can take the set.
He's going for it? Again?
Not once, but twice!
Oh, dramiS. This man is off the hook. And somehow it pays off. I was thinking to myself like, oh man, he can count his blessings. He got off the bounce pad with that little damage taken. And then he just goes in for it again.
He's like, I'm gonna do it again.
All
and
gas,
people
no
at home throwing their mice at their monitors like, how can he keep getting away with this?
But that does mean that Av3k should be able to take away the Mega. dramiS, there we go. He needed that shot to make it worth his while. Otherwise, the heavy machine gun from Av3k was definitely the winner there. Kind of caught by surprise, dramiS. Definitely wasn't expecting Av3k to just make way for that spot on the map. And now we're all tied up again. Oh, dramiS was getting ready for the float right there. He was in a good position for it too, but Av3k had the game sense to hold back. Not show his face when he didn't need to.
Yeah, really smart play there from Av3k, knowing something seems too good to be true. Vision popped. dramiS, good LG to push Av3k back. Still doesn't have rail, but finally will make his way back to his tried and true. His bay, if you will, Flea.
Yeah.
Can he use the rail to take this set 2-1? I mean, it's going to be not purely all rail, but a lot of it heavily relying on the rail. And LG on LG comes up short. Av3k is able to take the lead, but he's extremely weak.
But dramiS doesn't have any weapons to fight with, and he doesn't have the mobility, right? He's got nothing to close the gap. He's lucky that Av3k overextended right there. Giving him a good opportunity to tie it up again. Especially with the Mega right at dramiS' feet. That was a very, very good moment for him to get the frag.
So much damage. That was beautiful work from dramiS. And he gets a free rail for it, too. He gets rewarded.
I feel like we've seen that a few times now. Av3k sticking around a little too late. You know, he's like, he peaks, he's got a way out, but then he overstays his welcome by half a second maybe, and before he knows it, he's either dead or he was just peppered with a massive amount of damage on the exit. So he's got to be careful about that.
And dramiS, again, just does not want to give up the rail right now. Av3k waiting. He'll hook up. Grabbing armor, trying to get that stack as high as he can here. He's actually going to push with LG, and again, dramiS caught out with rail, taking unnecessary damage. Just all this extra damage somehow hits a rail, almost gets another one. 2-minute warning, Flea.
That would have been huge if he landed that second shot as well. Indeed, 2 minutes left to go. 1 frag of a deficit for Av3k. Still very possible, especially with the speed that he's got to work with. Oh! Solid play from Av3k. Nice rocket there. Oh! dramiS has to be ready for that aggression, right? We've seen that before. dramiS caught looking the wrong way, and before he even knows it, Av3k has already zipped all across the map and is right on top of him. So the American, representing Dragonborn Esports, has to be so careful. Excellent hook by Av3k right there. I think he would have probably died if he didn't use the hook to get onto the Mega in time and to deny another angle to dramiS.
Wow, what a play from Av3k there. That could have been disastrous, but using those hooks to just get out of range from Rail and able to tie it up, and we are a minute 5 away from potential sudden death right now. dramiS, in a bad way, gonna get rockets? No, he's gonna nail jump over, make his way to the Mega potentially, but he knows, he smells that Av3k is going that way, and needs to be careful. He's gonna push this, he's gonna hedge his bets right now, Flea?
Oh, I don't know about this 140. Yeah. Saw that one coming from a mile away. Same with the previous engagement as well. Why didn't dramiS just leave? When Av3k picked up the Mega, that's such a shoddy angle to be at, and instead he just stuck around. Could have made a move for LG, could have gotten an out, but nope. Gave up the frag, and now he's the one who's trailing.
And Av3k is keeping the high ground. 20 seconds left. dramiS does not have a rail to use. He's going to grab the armor shard, and he's just got to go all in. And chasing an Athena could be a nightmare. Av3k actually giving him an opportunity, but also taking it away with the LG, knowing that he could put the nail in the coffin with that. And Av3k is able to take this one. And it was close. It was unorthodox, but in the end, Av3k says, you know what? Fundamentals are important. 8-5, ties it up in a bow. 2-1 for himself. He's a little gift. And yeah, that one was close, but again, it comes down to that play style, just relying on the rail a little too much in almost every turn for dramiS. But a fantastic play, but you know, big shouts to Av3k for being able to take it, playing better fundamentals. But huge shouts to dramiS, just because there was a time that you mentioned, you know, he got absolutely whooped by Av3k, and we wouldn't have even thought the set would get this close. And so I just want to, you know, big shouts to dramiS for how much he's progressed over Quake Pro League. It's been a sight to see. Whether you believe in the play style or not, I don't really care. It's just, you know, he's showing that he is growing as a player and getting better and better.
Yeah. It is indeed a sight for sore eyes, looking at dramiS just stringing together those beautiful shots. But today, Av3k was simply the stronger player. Like you said, the fundamentals were too good, and dramiS made a few too many mistakes, and Av3k, well, it's Av3k we're talking about, right? You have to treat him with the utmost respect, because this man will eviscerate you if you even make the tiniest of missteps, and that's what happened repeatedly. Yes, at times, dramiS' rail, the magic pulled him through, but overall, Av3k, he just had the consistency in his favor, you know, just constantly landing the shots when it mattered the most, taking those fights at the right time, the right situation. There were a few times I felt where Av3k, you know, also overextended, kind of gave too much free damage to his opponent, but generally speaking, Av3k had good picks, good strategy going into this, and especially on the final map, he played that to perfection. Congratulations, Av3k, well-deserved victory, and of course, congratulations to Team Endpoint as well.
Yeah, as we take a look at the summary of every map, I mean, I can't help but think dramiS is going to come back and review the VOD and be like, man, if I just would have done X differently on Veil, it would have been 2-1. Could have been a 3-0. It could have been all different. Whether he uses that to review his playstyle and iterate, or just say, nah, next time I'll just hit more rails. That's up to him. Either way, it's amazing to watch on our end. So big shouts to both players. Av3k for taking it, dramiS for putting up a great show, if nothing else. So yeah, I mean, any final thoughts on that wrap?
I mean, it's just, these matches were a joy to watch, right? Like you said it yourself. Yeah, you can discuss dramiS' play style. Is it optimal? I would argue it isn't. It's definitely is a little
up for debate, I would say.
A little risky. Yeah, up for debate is putting it nicely. But it's so fun to watch, and when those shots do connect, it is indeed a joy. So dramiS, he played it well. I do hope that he kind of adjusts, that he adapts, that he maybe tones it down a bit, because who knows how high he can soar if he makes those adjustments, but nevertheless, these matches are pure, unadulterated fun, and I'm here for it.
And we got 2 more on the way. 2 down, 2 left to go, and that means that Papa Wheat's going to join us and keep us in line here on the desk. So we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with more Quake action. Don't go anywhere.